I have to bawl my eyes out. I'll tell you why I said that. I watched an old United States military drill sergeant die in the street alone. And he blamed himself for the mistreatment of other men, for the cruel treatment he was getting. And it had nothing to do with it. It was the cruelty in the hearts of people all around him, nothing to do with him at all. He held himself liable and died making his bunk 20 times a day. He'd tear that bunk apart and remake it as he was headed into delirium. I'll ache to the day I die watching that. I'll rejoice that I met the man. I never met such gumption in my life, and he called me a warrior. He mocked everybody for crying except me. He did not mock my tears. I remember James David, I'll tell you. There was a United States soldier, I met one once. I'll tell you, I met a lot of them. Only I met that one. I lived with him. I took him in my home. I took him to the hospital, and they threw us both off the property and said they'd arrest us for trespassing. When we asked for help, and he was jaundiced. He said, all we have to do is show you some rescue concern, and the rest of the time we can throw you right out of here. Now you get, boy. That's what security said at the hospital to us. With his yellow hide, I walked. Tried to hold my head up. I said, James David, we'll make it. He was pretty disgruntled over the system's response to his needs. They wouldn't let him have his... He had resources, they wouldn't let him have them. There was some detail about him not being an American citizen, which somebody finally got fixed, and he did die, rescued in a hospice. Well, believe me, not until 20 years, and I started banging on doors and praying publicly, and I'll still always wonder about the effect of my prayer. I can't get it to work for anything else, but it certainly worked for James David. It sure did. And he died just like I requested, comforted with a shower. They wouldn't take him home and give him a shower. These people were standing around him praying. I said, are any of you taking him home for a shower? I interrupted their prayer. They said no. Well, then I prayed. I said, oh Lord, let James David be taken home for a shower. Very publicly and very loud, and within a month, he was in a place. After knocking on their doors for 20 years, I'm told because he didn't have the right manners, they didn't have to talk to him. And he couldn't keep his manners. He'd see the fraud of the system and break down in the office, and they'd throw him out. He was an exceedingly genuine human being, who I begged to strangle me and wouldn't. Now, his feet had a smell that would strangle you, and I'd make him wash his feet, which nobody would even let him. Not one of them would ever take him home to their home and let him wash his feet. Finally, some gal came over and used to take care of his feet. They were black. A drill sergeant in the United States military, an awesome human being that I would make a pimple on any one of his cells. I respect the United States military, and I would make a pimple on any one of its anything. How about you? Because the character of the people adjoining it will pass through and keep going. And like he said in the movie, it never changes. They said the military will miss you. Or military will be nothing without you or something. And John Wayne said, baloney. They come and go. The United States military, it's an astounding understanding. It lives. It's an astounding understanding. The United States military. Very much. Something to adore. The Nazis adored it and lost their war. They couldn't help it. The Nazis had the brains to adore things. Well, they adored the United States military, and that took care of that. But there was something there to adore. They couldn't help it. They were genuine human beings. The Nazis were genuine. When they meant something to a door, what'll happen? War's over.